This is On The Porch RVA, where every episode aims to offer a peek into group dynamics. Our philosophies come from our stories, and our stories diverge and intersect. We agree and we disagree, just observers discussing perspectives on current events and life in the RVA.
My name is Tracy, and I want to officially invite you to join us on the porch, RVA. Welcome. It's going to start any minute. Come on. Come on. Come on. We are on the porch, RVA, and today's episode features the entire panel. And we are chatting today about how the narratives we see and hear in the media are created. We considered it to be a current event, but the effort to discern truth in the news is ongoing. Now, for our second subject, we draw from this, our topic bag, and the discussion is on food noises. The noises people make, how we react to them, what we can reasonably excuse. So we hope that it is entertaining, and we hope to get feedback from you. So come on, let's do it.
Well, here we are on the porch. On the porch RVA. This is a thing now. Okay. And we are happy to welcome you to join us as we hang out, talk about stuff, and let's just go ahead and start with the introductions. How about it, Matthew?
Oh, well, my name is Matthew, as you said.
Yes, it is. I can vouch for that. His name is Matthew.
I second
I think we're looking for a little more than
I'm a
that,
Scorpio, born in Richmond, voted in the last election, and I'm Jewish.
So you think that's a fleshed out enough profile? You ready to?
I'm going to interview you.
I didn't plan ahead for this.
Well, that's good. I mean, our basic assumption is that you know who you are. LeAnne, you know who you are?
Yeah, I'm LeAnne. By trade, I'm a dental hygienist. I'm also Jewish and Matthew's girlfriend. I'm also a Scorpio. Weird fact, we have the same birthday. I'm just a year older, so I have the age, the beauty and age.
But that's such a convenient.
I know.
If I forget the birthday, I'm in a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah, then I'll put him in.
Yeah.
I need to get him a memory check. But yeah, I'm.
So this is LeAnne.
Yeah, this is LeAnne.
Okay. This is Tracy, and let's see. I work. I rest. I like to play. I'm married to producer John behind the camera. Our wedding anniversary is the same as her birthday.
Oh.
And so he doesn't have any excuse to forget, or me either. We have actually been married for so long that there was a wedding anniversary that we both forgot. But we, yeah, I am just happy to be here. And if I think of anything else that's interesting to contribute, I'll bring it up. How about you, Evie?
Hi, I'm Evie. I'm just happy to be here. And I'm just so looking forward to doing this podcast to just keep the RVA informed about so many upcoming topics of interest and whatnot. And I just love my god brother John. He's such a wonderful man. I have so much to say, but I'll keep
We'll
it
be
on
fortunate
camera for now.
if one of them survives.
Yeah. Survival of the fittest, no doubt.
At this point, I'm going to interject that we do have a swear jar, but we're going to try. We're not
It'll be full by
try
the
not
end
to
of this
fill it.
session. Yeah.
Probably for me.
Most definitely.
We have a very loose agenda, and we are going to have 2 different topics of conversation. And we actually didn't really settle down to what our current events subject was going to be. We kind of talked about a number of different things.
There's a lot going on in the world.
Yeah, that's a fact. The one that was in my email, did you want to go with that one?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's totally fine.
We are, we're kind of drawing subjects out of the hat. And let me go ahead and tell you what our second subject is, and then we can talk about our first subject.
Well, do you just
and then
want to go?
we'll have a third subject as we wrap up at the end of this. So our second subject is the one that we drew out of the bag, and then we're going to draw out of the bag every time for the next time. And then our current event thing is going to be what we just bump into each other before filming, and we say, this is what's on my mind and heart, and let's talk about this a little bit. Okay, so this one is the predetermined one, and that is food noises. When you are sharing a meal with someone and you hear them slurp or chew or crunch or belch or hiccup or etc. Okay, so this was our predetermined one. I'll set that right there. We are going to get back to it. But we're going to go ahead and start with current event. And I'm going to put the timer on because we're supposed to be mindful. And when this goes off, we will begin to wrap it up. Okay? And so we were looking at wars and rumors of wars, a phrase that comes from my background, and looking at so many different things that are going on in the world. And we were talking about when the media presents something through a headline in the newspaper, or whether it's by what they choose to cover, and this could ruffle a few people's feathers because it becomes a question of how much credibility the news has, and when they're reporting a subject, when they're reporting an event, when they are shining the light on something that we're all supposed to know about, I personally am seeing a framing of the event that is narrative. Not always the same way, but I was wondering if I was the only one, and I was also wondering if it was on every subject. Is it just me? You know? And a lot of what this podcast is us getting together and say, is this just me?
Yeah.
And so I just put that out there, and whoever wants to take it.
Well, apropos of the topic, the first thing I thought of was the racial justice protests that we had in 2020 in here in Richmond. Pretty much went on all summer. But if you were just a watcher of the news, particularly the local news, either online or TV, even the paper, you saw most of the headlines were police arrest 3, fire happened, a store was damaged, vandalism, and so the average watcher of like CBS News, NBC 12 would come away thinking that everything was literally about just a bunch of troublemakers causing trouble, and the police are having to try and keep us safe every night. You never saw any stories, hardly saw any stories about the substance of what was being protested. You didn't hear stories about the police doing wrong, particularly attacking members of the press, or creating situations where you would get these protesters riled up, and then they'd have to start. They would use chemicals for the trouble that they themselves started. You didn't see that. It was all the narrative. To your point, the narrative that was being built was troublemakers are destroying the city every night and burning it down, and the police are trying to fix it. I would have listened to the protesters, but for the violence. That was a narrative being created because that was pretty much the only headline you saw. And I feel like I'm a journalist, I'm a writer. We're supposed to have a duty to inform and engage the public, and also to provide and to provide clarity to the situations happening. There was no clarity being provided. They were creating the narrative of you would literally see them like copy pasting police reports. I feel like that wasn't journalism. That was
Oh no, that's not journalism.
that's not very informative. You're not providing any context, and then a narrative was being built.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of power and responsibility with a job like that, and I felt like for those protests they did a poor job, and they created the wrong narrative.
I feel like the media also, not to piggyback off of that, does a disservice to the people that were being held because they were showing mugshots. Until they're proven guilty, they should not be showing those. Right. For the safety of the person, because what they got out, and I mean, it's public record. Especially if it being on television, but kind of going hand in hand with, this hits home for us just because we're Jewish. The war that started in Israel the other day. There's so many different opinions from so many different sides. Like, some Jews don't want to talk to people who aren't Jewish about the situation, when I'm the opposite. I think we should. I don't think you should leave someone in the dark because either you're, for whatever reason. But also just people are saying this is Israel's 9/11. I'm like, Israel's had a lot more 9/11s than I think the U.S. has had, because they're also thousands of years old.
And it's not a competition.
And it really isn't. Like, the killing of people should not be a competition. Like, if anyone's like religious, like, I'm pretty sure their God or whoever says the preservation of life is utmost important.
Let me interject to ask you a question. Would you think then, because it sounds like you would agree if I said that a narrative is created by simply omitting more than one side?
Oh, 100%.
And it sounds like you would agree with that because you said you're not one who would seek to say less, but more is better. And
I think, like, in a relationship, and Matthew could kind of...
I want to interject after you because you mentioned one side, but...
Well, kind of like in our relationship, I prefer over-communication.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather know too much than not enough. And I want the
whatever
full
the side
story.
Is,
Yeah, whatever it
restrictive.
is. Whatever it is. So it's like, I feel like every human has a relationship with the next human beside them. Like, they deserve, the respect to know the full story. And just because, I know we had talked about this before we were recording, but the moment you stop wanting to learn and to know what's going on around you is the moment you've checked out. Like, that you've, you're disrespecting your fellow human. Because it's also like you don't care. And I feel like that's not how the world should be. There are Jews that, believe, yes, I'm just using this as an example, but and this is coming from it's facts. There are Jews who 100% believe that Israel is for Jews and there's no such thing as Palestine. I've had a few people tell me, like, what's Palestine? It's not a country. I have worked with Palestinians. I am not going to deny anyone their identity, regardless of its ethnicity, gender, orientation, whatever. But then there are also Jews who, like, you know what? I love the people of Israel. I don't love the Israeli government. And I do believe that the Palestinians are being oppressed in certain ways. So, like, I just feel like there needs to be more conversation, and that both sides are also creating their own narrative, and that's why everyone's so heated.
Yeah.
You know, and that doesn't just go for Israel and Palestine.
No, narrative
that is
implies
100%.
a single side.
Yeah.
It implies a single side. And going back to the 2020, that narrative was an absence of context.
Well, and to your point, the sides thing goes both ways or always. Either you're only focusing on one side, or there's both sidesism, where the reporter will pretend and portray both sides as having equal merit, and there being no objectivity.
Right.
Objectivity.
Yeah.
And that's also confusing and misinforming, because sometimes there is a side, there is objectivity, but to make it as if you don't really know which side has the merit or whichever, that's not, you're doing a disservice to your readers.
Yeah.
And you're confusing people.
Yeah. If you have 30 people on one side who've done this one thing, and you have one person on this side, and then you act as if it's the same.
Yeah, that's not accurate.
That's an imbalanced.
I mean, people just forget that, you know, to talk instead of just action. Sometimes it's better to just listen.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm thinking that it's almost as if there is
like a bigger,
the same damage between censorship and self-censorship.
I can see that.
Because I know so many people who self-censor because they don't want to bump up against the narrative, whatever narrative is that they're surrounded by. They go into work and you accept the narrative of your workplace. You know, you hang out with your family, you accept the narrative of your family. If you don't integrate it into your own outlook, well, that's a different thing. And people, I think, too often will self-censor because they don't want to rock the boat.
Okay, out of my head, yes.
Yeah, they don't want to
ruffle any feathers.
You know. You hear the mother-in-law jokes and all of these things, but it's a very real thing when you self-censor because you don't want to disrupt a relationship. And I really do believe the journalist properly has a relationship with the people who are reading or hearing, and there is a responsibility that comes with relationship.
Yeah. As much as our managers are editors and editor-in-chiefs, our managers are also the public, because that's the whole reason we're doing what we're doing. Particularly if you're a news person, politics person, we're informing and engaging the public. We're not just writing stuff to write it.
And I think it's hard, you know, even just as a normal person, to go into a situation unbiased. Like, you know, we all have our own opinions and our own experiences, and, you know, they're not all going to be the same. So it's like, to come at a situation and have no opinion is so very hard.
Yeah.
I say this from a Scorpio perspective. I'm very opinionated.
We can speak to that from a customer service perspective, right?
Very
We're
much
there.
so.
We're there on the job to speak for our employer. Our employer has a narrative.
Yeah, whether you agree with it or not, I think some people. I think some people, when I was watching some of the footage on TV back in 2020 with the riots and all of the
Damage. Oh, so
right,
much damage.
and the formations. And I remember one scene at a demonstration when one of the reporters was actually sprayed.
Mm-hmm.
And that bothered me because he's just trying to get he just wanted to know how a demonstrator was feeling, and the police just walked straight up and just started spraying him, and then arrested
without
him.
any cause.
No cause, no reason.
I saw a lot of people like
and
that.
that just really, it didn't set right with me at all. And
Did
I'm
you
just like,
feel as if maybe there was some feeling on the law enforcement's part that the journalist was a part of, or do you think maybe they just wanted to quench the coverage?
What I felt, I feel like that. I felt like they wanted to quench the coverage, but I also felt like the police felt like they were being attacked by the reporter.
I think that's on the nose.
I really do, because they felt they were being like, they were the center of attention as being the
villain.
Right. They were the villain.
If we're talking about narratives,
Right.
To your point, and I think your point, there is and has been a narrative created. It's like we remember Andy Griffith, right? Andy and Barney and being a part of the community and all that. Mm-hmm. But the reality is, it really seems to be an us versus them. If you hear police talk, they talk about us like we're enemy combatants. I've met police that have told me that they don't live purposely. They do not live in the neighborhood they work because they don't want to meet up with someone. Like if I met up with someone I arrested or someone in the community, even so, you're hearing that. But then you're hearing all this talk about we're getting back to community policing and beat cops. Are you?
No.
Mm-hmm. There's a living defensive that everybody lives with some measure of being defensive. I mean, everybody locks their doors if they have any sense. Mm-hmm. But they are in a position. I'll speak. I have a number of friends who are on the police force, and they are living in an embattled mindset and living defensively, and it's a shame that we're all in that place. It really is. I mean, it's just a crazy world, and they're on the crazy edge of the crazy world, and it is unfortunate if there's a case where they don't recognize potential ally. You know, there's a kind of a paranoia, and state workers have got it, city workers have got it. Anybody that's serving the public has got that little bit of a paranoia, and I credit the framing of the media for that to some degree, because the media loves the conflict.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
and
in a way,
government is not capable of doing the right thing.
An example of that, just from a personal perspective, I have a relative who is a deputy sheriff, and one guy was walking around their town and with a short barrel shotgun, and he was known to be mentally ill. And so, I mean, the moment you raise up a shotgun, like, that's, you're already on defense. And so, like, they use, rubber bullets.
Right.
So, unfortunately, it hit him hard enough that it killed him. It wasn't intentional. They did everything by the book on their training. And I'm getting this from my aunt. This is her story. Like, she told me this. But the way the media turned it around, and what was sickening to me was, like, unfortunately, the guy was, a person of color, and, but the cop that shot him was too.
Right.
And so, like, they were actually going against the cop.
Right.
Like, you shot one of your own, and, like, he was literally about to kill 5 or 6 of us.
Right.
And this is standby, people who are standby. So it's, like, seeing how the media twisted that, because, like, this is a little town, like, nothing ever happens, like, unless something like this. Exactly. Which is sad.
But it blew up.
But it created...
And maybe somebody could be a star.
Well, the thing...
Maybe somebody could get national coverage.
Then they made it into not just a racial thing. Even though it was...
if the timing was right, it could fit in with some other crisis.
It got the Black Panthers from D.C. to come down. I'm like, for what? The dude had a shotgun aimed at people. But it's like the way that the media portrayed it. And then and then they made it like because it was like the presidential election and everything. They made it to that. And I'm like, okay, this is just a whirlwind that should not have happened. So
thanks for joining us. Find this video on YouTube and Rumble. Search On The Porch RVA. Connect with us on Facebook and Instagram. And now, back to the panel.
So as you can see, we're not afraid to talk about things that are close to the heart and are real life and we are well aware that we are not going to be able to fix the world's problems. We are interested in sharing our perspectives, and I was going to wrap this up with a question. I'm still trying to remember what that question was, and it was for you, as when the news is shown, us as viewers, is there something that you would recommend we bear in mind as we watch, as we listen, as we catch our headlines? Because I had someone tell me that when you see something in the news, wait 12 hours before you react.
That's a good thumb.
I think that's good.
Yeah,
advice.
I get that.
I just got to fact check.
Yeah, you do need to know that, one, it is a money-making business, so especially if there's a visual element, you need to remember that, they're focused on getting eyeballs, so take it all with a grain of salt. And to your point, also fact check, do your own. Don't just take whatever they say as the word or as gospel. Even if it's reputable, if it's NPR, ABC, you still need to do some research and think about what you're hearing just to follow up. You should never ever just take it as, well, this is what it is. No matter what it is. ABC, NBC, CBS, always do your work. That's what I say.
And that's enough seriousness. That takes care of today's current event. And it is an evergreen subject, as they say.
Yeah.
It is an evergreen subject. We will probably routinely talk about things that we don't feel like we've reached any kind of a conclusion. A lot of things in life simply have no conclusion. Life is in progress. That's all I can say about that. And so let's go to our the real story here. The real story.
The breaking
here.
news.
The breaking news of food noises. I was not going to tell you who actually submitted this. You will probably figure it out as we go through our conversation. And I don't know that it actually makes a difference what kind of food this is. I mean, some foods are more inherently noisy than others. Personally, I can't eat chitlins without slurping. But not everybody's going to sit at the table with me while I'm eating chitlins. I'll admit that. Okay?
Lord,
I will admit that. Do we want to start with confessionals like that as to...
I'll confess, because I know he's going to call me out.
I was going to be positive, but yes, I was.
Well, you can end on a positive note with it. So we go, we were in North Carolina for my nephew's birthday last month. And we were looking for something to get after a dessert, so there's this place called Good Berries, and very good frozen custard. And by the time I get mine, it's already, because it's August.
Oh,
so it's kind of already getting soupy, so I'm like,
oh no.
And I'm driving doing this, and he is cracking up. And he's like, I don't know how you can make slurping so cute. I was like...
It was cute and a riot.
And dangerous if she was driving.
One hand was always on the wheel.
It was nobody, nothing. LeAnne.
I kept doing it because I knew he was cracking up.
Uh-huh.
So, usually I'm the quiet eater.
Okay.
I don't make a mess. If I do, I'm like...
Just
clean
hoovered it up.
Right away. I don't hoover.
Are you the one that leaves a mess for the waitress, or you kind of tidy your table before you get up?
If we're together, she'll
This
leave
is
it
a
up.
whole nother topic.
Oh, okay.
But I am not don't just bring me a thing of Bounty and I'll be fine.
Oh, so if you talk to his parents, they will say he will go through a whole roll of paper towels. Because he doesn't like anything on his hands, but he'll eat with his hands. And I'm like, that defeats the purpose.
Self-sabotage.
But we're on to food noises. I'm not going to...
Yes.
I love
Bounty does not make a noise, so that's not today's subject.
It's funny because food noises can be that was a food noise, but I thought that was hilarious and a riot. But there's other times when I'm sitting down and I'm hearing whatever it's chewing and this and that. And see, you don't like it and you just heard me do it. For the folks listening on the air, they looked horrified. But
yes,
it's not me because I'm trying to guess who he's referring to, but I think I know.
Yeah, if you're catching this on the Audible only, you really need to go to YouTube
please.
or Rumble so that you can get the visual.
You got to get the full effect, the full on experience.
You'll hear those kinds of noises, and it just does something to me. I'm like, I'm hearing this.
I literally see him go to like a fetal position.
I'm hearing the swallowing and the food sloshing in the mouth, and
Oh, God.
the noise makes you get the visuals, and you don't want those kind of
It's
visuals.
not just food noises either.
Oh.
It's like, for me, it's styrofoam. Like, I can't... And I'm not overly sensitive
or
to
scratching
noise.
on plates with utensils.
That's, yeah.
Side note, that is tangentially a food noise, because you
Yeah,
don't
it
know
is.
if you're eating
Yeah.
food.
Yeah,
And so
I
when I
consider
hear
that a
particularly
food noise.
one person in
Yeah.
particular, I can't say the name, but scratch.
You know who you are.
It's, once you hear that knife or the fork, I mean, it's really fingernails, and I'm just like, it hurts me so bad.
Like, you would think, like, his bones were breaking. Because of how he just, like, seizes up. He becomes Voldemort.
I actually have. It just occurred to me that there is one that I have to admit I hadn't thought of it in a long time, but I used to know somebody that if they played with their food and you could hear them stabbing things on their
just like-
plate. And like rolling the peas around, like they had to conquer their peas and
One pea at a time,
one
too.
pea at a time. So
Take forever to have your dinner.
that was pretty irritating.
Right.
Well, they say if you eat slower, you're fuller faster.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was their diet. But
It's a lie. Straight up
I ain't got that time.
Okay, so you live next door to a restaurant.
Oh.
Jeez.
Yours by the clingy, clangy.
Oh, you get
Pots
lots
and
of food
pans.
noises.
Let me explain this one. Not so much about the restaurant, just people in general that I've known passing through in my lifetime. You can literally kill me with you popping gum.
Oh, literally.
Or you're on a customer service call
Oh,
With
and
food in your
someone
mouth.
is talking to you.
yeah.
And I'm trying to schedule you an appointment with the doctor. I need to schedule you an appointment with somebody else because you are popping gum like this in my ear. No, boo-boo. Not happening. And then you're trying to talk to me and you are ordering something at the drive-thru.
On the drive-thru.
I'm
on
having
the
to
phone.
compete with you ordering a double cheeseburger and fries, and then you've got something in your mouth as you're talking to me.
Kind of
Bad on
defeats the
top of
purpose.
bad.
Yeah.
And then the person that's taking the order in
Yeah.
the drive-thru has
Yeah.
to deal with them talking to you
Right,
at the same
yeah.
time.
But normally, or if you're sitting in a restaurant and it's a crowded restaurant, and then you're hearing people sucking up soup or sipping loudly on drinks and stuff, or when you're bartending and someone is sipping on their drink, or the worst thing you could ever do is have someone that's drunk who's ordering another drink. And then, you have
Get a
to
straw.
become
Slurring and slobbering.
no. Then
and-
you have to become clean up Mary because we decide we just want to just drop it all right there when you get
the
that too.
the category is fairly broad.
It's too
Yeah.
broad.
It brought up a subtopic.
I think
Lord.
mine would be people not chewing with their mouth closed.
Yeah,
Because I'm like, I
But
don't
they
need to
don't.
see all that.
yeah. You don't want to see
I
it.
was like,
no.
and I mean, obviously that goes back to just like how they were raised and that kind
Yeah.
of thing. But I mean, I don't need.
yeah,
It's almost as bad as
yeah,
chomping on gum open, like.
yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I play softball, so we pop gum all the time.
Mhm.
So I can't say I would ever be annoyed by that, but like the way some people would do it is like they wouldn't blow it out. They'll pop it in and go.
Yeah.
Right. Or they'll be.
It would do it like 3 or 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
are
Or
you
you-
snapping
right.
fingers in your mouth?
Or you're in the hair salon getting your hair done,
Oh.
and she's popping gum in your
In
ear.
your ear. Well, and you can't
Right.
move.
Yeah.
Don't get that in my
I
hair.
just
Right.
worry she'll spit it out, and now it's in me.
Yes.
My hair.
Right.
Or like she'll open her mouth and they just fall in your hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
like,
I ain't got that much hair to
I'm not
lose
paying extra for
anymore,
that.
So.
Yeah.
Let me add a question to our original starting point. When you are in a pizza place, you take a bite of pizza. The pizza is not cooperating
Oh, we're just
with the whole tidy chewing with your mouth closed and food being in your mouth where it's supposed to be. You got mozzarella and you got it all.
Oh, I have a beard.
Everywhere.
It becomes a disaster.
How do you deal with that in a tidy way?
Impossible.
Without
Fold
having
it
to
in
use the
half.
whole roll of Bounty.
I don't
well,
know
some
much
people
into
would
it.
just take a fork and knife and just cut. But
Right. Yeah.
I can't see that.
I mean, if I eat pizza, I'm gonna want to eat it with my fingers because
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
just
And
how
I'm
you
messy.
do it.
My mother would make a pizza at home. She would roll out the crust, and it would get nice and big, and she loaded it with everything. And you had to use a knife and fork for
Yeah,
that.
because it's just so, especially like the
But if
Chicago
you're-
deep dish. Like
Yeah.
it's
But
gotta
if,
be.
but if you've got a piece of pie in your hand,
Yeah.
and it's just, and then you're trying to get your mouth to catch all of the
Right.
cheese and the stuff that's trying to slide off of the crust.
Mm.
I mean, that's going
Oh,
to be
I see what
noisy.
you mean. Like, you're,
I think
That's
the only
gonna,
thing you have
that's
to do
gonna be
is
a food noise, and you're just going to have to deal with
you
it.
have to wait
Yeah.
for it to be, because sometimes when it cools, it'll solidify a bit more. One, I'll stop
the science behind it.
Wait it out. You gotta wait it
Yeah,
out.
you have to. It'll burn your tongue anyway.
Yeah.
But there's just no.
Now that's what the beer's for.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Good beer.
right.
Now,
But-
Mary Angelo's, let me tell you, best
Oh,
pizza.
yeah.
That is good
Cary
pizza.
That was
Street,
it. That was
Mary
it.
Angelo's.
And they have gluten-free options for anyone
Yeah,
like
they
me
do.
who's gluten sensitive.
I haven't been in a while. That is a good
So it was actually really good. Yeah. Like it's one because gluten-free anything like bread. I mean, it's hit or miss. Like
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we've only found like one really good. Like
That's like
goodie
non-dairy
or-
cheese. It's hit or miss.
Yeah, it's like very few that are like Wegmans does a good like
Yeah.
gluten-free sub, but I mean, getting back onto like the noises,
Subs are noisy.
They can be.
they can be.
And messy, too.
And-
Yeah, they are
messy.
messy.
Mm-hmm.
And
My
noisy.
other thing is I think you mentioned burping.
Yes.
Yes. I thought there was supposed to be some culture where that was supposed to be a compliment.
Yeah,
It is.
Effectively.
I saw
Some
that in like the
countries.
Ben-Hur movie.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah. I mean, but like for me, like I mean, even if I'm by myself, like if I have to, like I have
Are you
to.
going to
Right.
apologize to yourself?
Like no, no, because my stomach would be like, screw you. See, I was nice. I didn't say
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Yeah.
true. You did not make the
Yeah.
sweater list.
Not yet, at least. No, but like in public or like even at the grocery store, like no, like we're at a restaurant, no.
I thought grocery stores had different rules. Like you could wear your hair in curlers, and you could go in with
With
slippers.
slippers and
Yeah, I thought grocery stores had different rules of reality.
Apparently, yeah.
I mean,
Especially in the morning. People are
Yeah.
great in the morning. Coming in like,
yeah.
did you
Like,
forget to get out of bed first?
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Burping.
Forgot to
because
put your
of
face
last
on.
night's beer and
No.
scratching their crotch.
Yeah,
That's
people
the
are just
new-
wild.
Oh, now it's post-COVID time.
Oh,
no.
yes, honey.
Oh,
That's the new
all my
norm.
vegetables are washed.
That's the new fashion now, boo.
That is.
The oversized satin bonnet.
Yep.
Your pajama pants.
And don't forget the Crocs.
Oh yeah, honey, the Crocs, boo.
Comfortable
and you
as in.
looking good with some missing
Crocs
nails
are
and stuff.
dangerous.
Missing
so-
nails.
I mean,
Lord,
How comfortable is in.
and I'm just like, but see, that's why I do love living in Chaco Bottom. I love sitting out on my porch on a Saturday
People watching.
morning. I call it the bird's eye view.
Yeah. Yeah. You do.
So-
you do have a
Bird's eye
good
view.
spot for that.
Yeah, because when I finish work at night, I sit outside until Ray's had to come out a few times to get me off the porch because I've been known to fall asleep at 2 a.m. in the morning. He'll come out and like, get in the apartment. I'm like, I'm coming.
Wake up and go to sleep.
But I notice things. You see different things going on, and I just like to know what's going on. But yeah, I
Inquiring
like to
minds
see
wanna
what's
know.
going on, and then that's the first thing I notice. I see everybody's got pajamas on. I'm like, well, is it a pajama party I didn't know about? Everybody's got pajama parties.
Two things. One, I love that we're being meta. We're recording on the porch while talking about being on the porch.
Yeah,
So that's cool.
yeah,
But I work at Men's Warehouse. Literally, I work in tailored clothing.
Right.
And I have sold people $1,000 Italian-made wool, 3-piece, the whole thing. And people are coming in with their, especially guys, coming in with their jammies, wearing holes in the shirt with hopefully food on the
Or
shirt.
if they're working construction, they come in with or they're from the gym.
Yeah, they're coming in all sloppy and stuff. Even though they're buying, sometimes they're the ones buying the $1,000 suits. They look
Right.
like they forgot to wake up.
right.
And you wonder where they're going to wear it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've
most
also
of-
learned not to judge, but yeah, they're
Right,
coming
yeah.
in like looking. Ugh.
And most of them probably like CEOs.
Well, one of them was, yeah.
Yeah.
He had his camo on and this and that,
Yeah.
buying $1,000 suits because he owns his own company.
Yeah, exactly.
I just learned not to judge because CEOs don't always look like CEOs.
No, they don't. I learned that years ago.
So you guys knew that we went to Trevor Noah's comedy show last night. Which, for the viewers, if you haven't gone, you need to go. So one thing that he said is, and this kind of goes in like with CEOs and just like happy and joy are two different things. So, you got all this money in the world, and you go and you buy things that make you happy. And so like all these rich people will go and they'll buy these like elaborate houses on the lake. But what are they doing? They're sitting outside on their dock for free.
Yeah.
So, like, what's really giving them the joy is free.
Yeah, it's not the.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it's like
Yeah.
going in. So, it's like to understand that money isn't everything, obviously, because
Yes.
it kind of goes hand in hand with, like, CEOs. Some have a different outlook on, like, okay, I'm still going to live in a modest house. I'm still going to drive a
Right.
modest car.
Right.
You're comfortable.
Yeah.
But, so, that was my happy takeaway moment.
Right.
But I definitely think this world has, as I'll repeat Trevor last night, has learned this moreness mentality. Like we always want more and want more and want more. Even when we hit that more, we still want more.
Yeah.
And then
When is it enough?
yeah, and it's
There's a
like
rub.
you forget that you even wanted that when you actually get it.
Right.
Or that you dreamed it, and then you finally, succeeded that goal, or you met that
Right.
goal. You forget what brought you to it,
Right.
and you don't stop and appreciate, and stay humble.
Right.
Yeah.
And that should be the number one thing
Gratitude
we
is
should
the key.
always. Exactly.
Yeah,
Is the
I know
key.
that's kind of like off topic. Maybe it was
Well,
slightly
Let me
apropos,
turn it
but
into a question.
yeah, I mean it was.
When you hear somebody being noisy with your food, is it because you think maybe they want you to be jealous that they've got it?
Yeah. And that's
I mean,
a very
did that
good
come into
idea.
play with
Yeah.
you slurping on that yolk? On that yolk? That, frozen
Look,
yolk?
I hadn't been back to North Carolina. It was probably Mother's Day since the last time I had been there, and like even then I didn't get any like good dessert because it wasn't that hot.
Right.
But this was a day, and
Perfect night for it.
Had
I
you
mean-
already finished yours and then you had to listen to hers?
yep.
Yeah, because I didn't really drink it. I just used a spoon and made it like it was just ice cream and
And you went through it quickly and then...
relatively.
Uh-huh.
Probably quicker
Now
than I
see,
should have.
Hey, yeah.
That's a sibling
I want to say I think you
Yeah.
did get an
That
ice
is-
cream
yeah.
headache.
I can't speak for every sibling, but I tortured my brother and sister when we would get something like the ice cream, and mine would be all melty because I would be so pig-headed that I wanted to still have some when they had finished theirs, so that I could. It didn't matter if it got all over my hand and all over my face, and I only got to eat actually half of it because I had the joy of appreciating their.
I'm such a
done with
neat
theirs.
freak. That could I'm like, like licking it, and I'm like, I'm not getting this on my hand.
There's a subtopic for you. Do you lick your ice cream or do you, bite
Eat
into
it.
it?
Yeah, bite it.
My
Depends. If it's in a cup, I'm gonna just drink it.
I never agree with. I'm on team bite. I don't know. I feel like licking's gonna take me forever. I'll let you just get into it.
Just get into it.
Except cookout milkshakes.
Yeah, well, that's because they make theirs right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Sorry,
do.
Potbelly.
They
Oh,
do.
Lord.
I would agree. I was disappointed with Potbelly. And this is not going to turn into a restaurant
Bashing,
review
yeah.
podcast. We're not going to be going from bar to bar and judging beers. This is just us just judging. We're not,
No,
we're
we're
not
just having a raw
interested in
conversation.
sampling.
Or your opinion on a milkshake.
So we're not going to put ourselves in a place where the people are suing us because we said something bad about their business. We're just customers.
Yeah,
We are customers. We're not lawyers. We are customers. And if we talk about medicine, we won't be being doctors. If we talk about driving fast, anyway,
We're not NASCAR drivers.
we're not NASCAR drivers. Yeah,
Take home is unless it's really good ice cream, don't slurp.
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, so it's time for last round. Okay, and so we're going to go around the circle and offer some parting encouragement or good thing that happened that we want to share or good thing we're looking forward to that we want to share. And Evie, you go first.
Okay. Well, this was a great day today, getting with everyone. Matthew, LeAnne, you, John. Anyway. But I'm looking forward to next weekend. They have this event coming to Richmond, Virginia, to the Richmond Convention Center, Nightmare
Now,
Weekend.
we're not going to be showing this right away.
No. So
which-
if you
which
guys
weekend?
get it, it's going to be October 13th through the 15th.
Yeah, what she's
Yeah.
telling you about,
Right.
it's already passed.
Yeah, it's
Too
already
bad.
passed.
Too bad.
But
Hopefully
got-
you enjoyed it if you did.
yeah, but hopefully you did enjoy it. And then November 11th, we have the Richmond Marathon coming up.
Ooh.
So we are looking, if you're interested in volunteering for the
11th.
event, please go to their website, sportsbackers.org, and get in touch with Mary Marshall Graber. And she's one of the best volunteer coordinators ever. And sign up with her. And let her know Evie sent you. And we'd love to have any volunteers to assist with the water stations, helping the day before. I think they'll be at the Arthur Ashe Center, handing out, assisting with the packets as the runners come in to pick up their packets and whatnot. It's great fun. So we hope to see you guys out there, but this was a really great day. I really enjoyed myself.
Cool. And I'll get the link.
Yeah.
We'll put the link to that in the show notes.
Okay.
Okay. And that's for November 11th.
Yep.
All right. Are we going this way? Or are we going this way? Or this way? Okay. I didn't have anything prepared. It's just...
You're the one asking.
I know. It's like, oh, I guess I need to say something too. Love life. That's all I can say at this moment. Love life. Let me go ahead and dedicate this to the memory of Lori Walker. A bright light. Bright light. And to my brother, her husband, I love you, bro. Hang in there. And love life. Life is worth it. Whatever it takes, life is worth it.
Definitely.
I don't even know what to say.
I didn't mean to get serious.
No. I mean, times are hard for pretty much everybody around the world. So just remember that your neighbor is human too.
Yeah.
Even in Richmond.
Even in Richmond. But I will say, my prayers are with Israel right now. I know this is going to be a few weeks after this, tragedy, but that we're praying for the safe return of the people that are missing. We're praying for the families that have been torn apart, physically and just emotionally. and just, go into conversations with an open mind and never stop learning or wanting to learn.
Here.
Amen.
Well, one, I was just thinking about this when you had mentioned last round. It's early, almost mid-October right now, and I'm really happy that we're getting crisp, cool, comfortable weather. I feel like it's been... We in Richmond and Central Virginia really did not get a bad summer like they had in Phoenix and areas. We got lucky. But
Very
this
fortunate.
is really nice. This is like,
Yeah.
you can do anything in this weather.
Yeah.
So I am happy
Yeah.
for that.
Get out and enjoy it. Yeah.
Enjoy your porches.
Yeah.
In
Really.
in November, like I think November 17th, 18th, and 19th, thank you, the Pocahontas Reframed Film Festival is coming to town, and I'm really excited for that. I'm biased because I put out a teeny write-up on it. Richmond Magazine, look it up. But it's
Send
the
me
large...
the link. I'll put it in the show notes.
Yep.
Oh, it's actually print copy.
It's apparently the largest film festival on the East Coast, and the only of its kind for indigenous peoples. It's of Native Americans by Native Americans. I don't know. I just feel like that's a really good thing. You'll be able to talk to the filmmakers. I just feel like that's a really quality program and something we could all enjoy. So I'm excited for that.
Yes.
Cool.
How much are the tickets for that event?
It's
25 for general admission. 100 gets you all.
The
And
VIP.
25 is all the movies. 25 gets you all the movies plus it's VIP because you can also get access Saturday night to the reception, where you can do a real meet and greet with the filmmakers and have those quality conversations
Awesome.
about the film you've seen.
And it's at the
Cool.
VMFA, and they're gonna have
Really?
food trucks.
Lots of room.
VMHC, right next door.
Oh, see, I'm so sorry. That's
okay.
right. Next
Alright.
door, the History Museum.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, we've been to premieres at the Bird. but
Yeah.
That's not as
One of the last
big
movie
as
palaces
what's
in the
needed.
country.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So we're going to
yeah.
wrap it up.
tons of stuff.
We are always going to be ending this with more to say. So, thank you for having joined us on the porch. And we will be right here, wherever you're watching or listening. We'll be right here again in 2 weeks. And thank you. Join us.
Share us with your friends.
Yes. Subscribe, hit the likes, the buttons, the things,
comments.
all of the things. You know the things. Go do the things. And
Oh, we're on Facebook too.
yeah, and Instagram and all of that. So, have a wonderful all of it. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome if you got them.
So that's a wrap. We will be doing this again in 2 weeks, and we hope that you'll join us. The question that we drew out of our topic bag for the next episode is weed. Should there be social rules now that there are fewer laws? Now you can find us with your regular podcasts. Please rate and review if you think we've got potential. Join our community on Facebook and Instagram. Now the video of these episodes is on YouTube and Rumble, and please email suggestions of subjects, guests, or sponsors to tomatlh@outlook.com. And thank you for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed the conversation, and we'll see you next time, right here on the porch.
On the Porch RVA is produced by John Hundley, and your host is Tracy Hundley. It's featuring Matthew Sporn, LeAnne Whitlow, and Yvonne Corbin Wilkerson. Join our community on Facebook and Instagram. Video of these episodes is on YouTube and Rumble. Email us at tomatlh@outlook.com. On the Porch is a 2023 Toma Studios production.